And I highly recommend the A6400 because it is that in-between 6000 series camera that has all of the features, all of the essentials for a lower price. Okay, so this is a video I've been wanting to make, and this is about what I use to make my videos. I'm not gonna go into settings, I'm not gonna go into crazy specs and details, I'm just gonna go straight into it. I use a Sony A6400 with a 16mm 1.4 because that lens and this camera combination are a compact, super capable video camera with amazing autofocus. I've used 3 different A6000 series cameras. I actually started photography with an A6000. That really introduced me to the world of interchangeable lenses. And at first, people would look at me with that camera, or anyone would be judging. It was a couple years ago, and you'd see that camera, you would think it's a toy. But inside that toy-looking camera, we had a 24 megapixel sensor, APS-C, which is what DSLRs use, aside from full frame, like the 80D, the 90D now, the 7500 from Nikon, 3400, they all use APS-C, but this APS-C was in this little dinky body that could shoot 11 frames a second and had phase detection and contrast hybrid autofocus. This thing was a hit, and I immediately jumped at this camera and I learned a lot. Most of what I know today, I started with that camera. And so, as the generations have gone by, just within a couple of years, we've ended up with a 6300, 6500, and then 6100, 6400, 6600. So there's a tons of these cameras. You can get them for decent prices, used or new. And I highly recommend any of those, to be honest, but I'm mainly going to talk about the newer ones, and I'm going to tell you why I got rid of my 6500, which had the in-body stabilization and whatnot. It was a great camera, but there's one reason I sold it for these newer ones, and that is the real-time autofocus. So this real-time autofocus is incredible. Sony's latest autofocus technology is top of the line, competing with what I used to consider the best for video, like Canon. But now even for photography, we've got the eye autofocus. Real-time autofocus will freaking capture your eye no matter how you move it, where you move in the frame. It tracks excellent, and until you use one or use any camera from Sony that has real-time autofocus, you will know what I'm talking about. It is truly amazing to not have to worry about autofocus and just worry about your content, your composition, lighting, all those other important things. Cameras have taken us to a whole different level with technology, and so I opted for the 6400 over the 6500 that I had because of that. And the flip screen. It does not flip to the side, but it's above, which I think is still really good, and I'm using it right now. Instead of looking this way off camera, I'm looking right above it, and I think that was really smart. I've got my mic right here with a cage. I'll talk about the cage on another video. If you're doing video and you have one of these cameras, you need this cage. It is essential. Anyway, I didn't get the 6600 because I didn't think it was worth spending the extra money for the battery size. I mean, I like the bigger battery, but I have my full frames. I don't really care about carrying more of those. I don't mind changing my battery. It's not a big deal. So I went for the cheaper option that had the same autofocus, same sensor, and I don't need stabilization because I'm using a really wide lens, and so movements like this, they still look smooth without stabilization. It's now more dependent on my hand, whether I'm shaky or not, but for the most part, it's not that shaky. I'm not even using a gimbal. I'm just holding it with a GorillaPod right now. And so if you're looking for a camera to start off and make excellent quality video in 4K or slow motion, you name it. All of these A6000 new series cameras now have all of the video features that you're gonna want. All of the log files, profiles. You're gonna go crazy trying to decide which profile to use. Join that with the autofocus system. They're winners. And I highly recommend the A6400 because it is that in-between 6000 series camera that has all of the features, all of the essentials for a lower price. So I recommend it. Stick around. I've got a lot more video camera content coming out. I'm just really happy with the collection I have right now, and I think I've gotten to the point where when I test the lens, I know if I'm gonna keep it or not, or camera, I know I'm gonna keep it or not. And what I am keeping, and I've kept over the last year, is solid gear that I wanna mention to you and recommend. And I mean, my choices are not the ultimate authority. I'm not a lens expert. I don't do technical stuff, as you can probably tell. So I hope you enjoyed this video. A6400 for the win with this awesome lens. And if you didn't watch my other video, which is on the same day that I'm recording this one, we now have the trio of APS-C for these Sony cameras, which make it even a better bargain. You can get all three of these 1.4 lenses for the price of one full frame lens. And that, my friends, is amazing. You can do quality photography and portraiture and even shoot a wedding with these three lenses, if you know what you're doing. Thanks for watching.